Chapter 4. Good morning. It was not nice and quiet last night. No barking dogs, no anything. So peaceful. Oh, speaking of pets, it reminds me. I hope some pony is taking good care of Gummy. Anyway, I'm much better now. I I know I had a pretty bad freak out and everything, but right now I'm pretty calm, relative of sort. So I'm still pretty worked up, but not as bad as back then. Let's just not talk about what happened. It's really embarrassing. Okay, I suppose it's only fair that I got into it. After all, if I'm asking for help, I should really get the whole story out there. Okay. So Twilight marched back upstairs, trailing an apologetic Spike behind her. Rainbow Dash was standing next to me, wearing an alien costume, sporting bobbing antennae with stars on them, on her head, and I felt this weird pulsing sensation in my brain. Rainbow must have sensed that I had mildly protruded, because she gave me this kind of wary look and goes, all innocent-like, "Hey, yeah, everything okay, Pinkie?" It was like my head, all on its own, rotated very, very slowly to face her, and I didn't know. I guess maybe I was in her personal space a little, because she took a step back. I wanted to reassure her that everything was fine, just fine, so I smiled at her. But for some reason, she took a couple more steps back. I didn't know why. I was perfectly friendly. I was smiling and everything, but I couldn't think of anything else to say, so I just kept smiling. I think my left eye might have twitched a little. You're looking kind of freaky there. Are you okay? She looked at me worried and freaked out right then, since it was supposed to be me that was freaking out, and not her. That seemed funny, especially since I was freaking out at all. I was just fine. My smile widened, and I started laughing a little. Okay, you're weirding me out now, Rainbow said, as she took yet another step back. Why was she so nervous? It's not like I was going to, I don't know, do something horrible to her. Maybe something involving the forcing removal and reinsertion of the lycra bodysuit that she was wearing, or having her find out that those springy antennae there were edible. I think it's time for me to go, she said, as her rump hit the bookshelf behind her, and now I hadn't realized how far across the room she had moved. Of course, I probably hadn't noticed, because I was still a couple of inches away from her face, stepping forward every time she stepped back. I felt my eye twitch again. I'll tell you, that was sure annoying. Is this about the prank? She asked, as I stood in front of her with a big grin on my face. The prank? Oh, that was so funny! So I laughed even more! Oh wait, that wasn't in her voice. The prank? Oh, that was so funny! So I laughed even more. You're really freaking me out, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash said. And I literally just felt something go snap in my head. And I think whatever it is that broke was attached to my smile muscle, because my smile suddenly vanished. It was either that or my mane, which suddenly depoofed right then and there. My name is not Pinkie Pie, I informed her, pretty calmly. I think, though, under the circumstances, I think I did. it'd get a little bit shrill at the end there. Seriously, though, how many times do I have to say it? Doesn't any pony ever listen? Anyway, Dash responded by going, "Yeah!" jumping up into the air and then flying out of the window. Oh no, we're not having any of that. I have to let her know just how much I appreciated her help. I felt my grin reattach itself to my face, though my mane and tail stayed perfectly straight. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have been concerned about that. I barged out the door, looking around for a rainbow-hued contail. I spotted it streaking away down the street, smiling at the world in general. I took off after her. I got to see a lot of Ponyville that afternoon. It was like a big old game of tag. And I had to go make Rainbow Dash it. I sprinted after her as fast as I could, which I believe I've mentioned is pretty darn fast. I dodged ponies, zipped around market stalls, hurled over Mr. Waddle, who's also a pony, but a very old one, and never, ever once lost sight of that rainbow contrail, which was kind of nice that something was going right for a change. I'd always wondered how Pinkie Pie managed to get ahead of Rainbow Dash in the cartoon. It turns out that Pinkie is just really, really fast! And Rainbow Dash always telegraphs exactly where she's going. I think my favorite was when I slowly raised myself out of the garbage can behind her, lid balanced precariously on my head while she was peeking around the corner to see where I was. I leaned forward and whispered, "Boo," into her ear. Maybe it was my imagination that at the resulting rainbow contrail as she sped away was slightly more yellow than usual. Maybe. Anyway, I think Rainbow Dash thought for some reason that she could finally lose me in the alleyway, because that's the last place that I found her hiding. I mean, it was perfectly obvious where she was somehow. I didn't know. Maybe it was my Pinkie sense that told me that she was hiding, or maybe she's really, really bad at hide and seek. I got to the alleyway entrance and stood there, staring at the boxes that Rainbow was hiding behind. "Oh, Rainbow Dash!" I sing-songed. "Come out and come on out! I just want to play with you." Rainbow Dash went, "Yeah!" again, which reminded me of when I first experimented with my new voice, and I started giggling a little bit. She threw a panicked look at me and launched herself into the air, taking off over to the rooftops. Rooftops? Now that wasn't fair. I jumped up on the boxes that she had hid behind, and then I bounced from there up to the nearest rooftop. The roof wasn't too high, maybe only 15 feet off the ground, and the boxes got me halfway there, so it was easy peasy. I started to run after her again, jumping from roof to roof. I didn't know how the fastest flyer in Equestria. She sure seemed, I don't know, she seemed a little slow. Maybe it was just the stupid costume she was wearing, increasing her drag or something, but I was catching up to her pretty quickly. I think she noticed that because she abandoned the rooftops and flew over to the open marketplace. Oh, clever girl. Nothing but obstacles in my way, which she could just fly over. I jumped down off the roof, determined to catch up with her. My eyes were watering pretty heavily at this point. I think I was forgetting to blink, actually. It was wall-to-wall stalls in the marketplace, which might have proven tricky if I didn't get the brilliant idea to go through them instead of wasting my time going around them. It was like making my own very special shortcut. Rainbow Dash was running out of steam, it looked like. She'd been flying flat out for a while now, and she was finally landing, right by Applejack's stall, no less. Strangely, though, I felt perfectly fine. I had energy to spare, and I could even feel it sparkling out of my coat. As I ran up, I heard Rainbow Dash pleading with Applejack. "You gotta help me," she said to the apple vendor. "Pinkie's gone nuts, and I think she's trying to get me."
"I'm not trying to get you, Rainbow Dash,"
I said, wide-eyed and grinning.
"I just wanted to tell you how funny I thought your prank was."
"Help me," Rainbow begged. "Now you two can't just quit it," Applejack said sternly as I stalked towards them. "I ain't playing any of your stupid alien invader games. I got apples to sell."
"Of course you do, Applejack," I
said, laughing shrilly. Applejack looked at me like I'd grown a second head. I'm not playing, AJ," Rainbow Dash said. "I think there's really something wrong with her." "I reckon you may be right," Applejack said, eyeing me warily. Something Something wrong with me?" I echoed. "How absurd! Except for the whole being human stuck in a pony thing." Of course, I tilted my head to the side as I tried to filter that information. I made sure to keep on smiling, though, to put them at ease and all. For some reason, I don't think it worked. There's something very wrong with you," Rainbow Dash said from behind Applejack.
"There's nothing wrong with me, Rainbow Dash,"
I said with a high-pitched giggle, shaking my head in disbelief. A couple bits of wood fell out of my mane, and when I did that, probably from the stalls I crashed through a little while ago. You think they'd make them sturdier than that? I'm not the one wearing a gray alien suit. I'm not the one with the bobbing antenna headband. I was walking towards them as I was saying this, by the way.
"I'm not the one who showed up at the perfect time."
Oh, that's not her. I'm not the one who showed up at just the perfect time to ruin any chance I had to get home by convincing Twilight Sparkle that anything was going to say to her was perfect of some silly joke. AJ had backed up against her stall now, and our Rainbow Dash was hiding behind it. I noticed that there was quite a crowd of ponies around the three of us now, though they all seemed to want to stay pretty far back for some reason. "I don't know what's going on here, but I reckon it's gone on far enough," Applejack said, trying to sound reasonable. I just blinked at her a bunch of times, though it was just because I was trying to catch up on all the blinking I missed out on earlier. "It don't seem like Rainbow Dash is having fun anymore, so maybe it's just time we all went home, all right, Pinkie Pie?" I took a deep breath, getting ready to loudly assert yet again that I was not Pinkie Pie, when something Applejack said resonated with me. Rainbow Dash is not having fun. For some reason, that really shook me. That's when my head voice re-entered the scene. "Don't you think that's enough now?" it said. "You're scaring them." And that's when I realized that, yeah, I had gone a little off the deep end. There I felt the crazy smile fading as I looked at the ponies in the front of me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said, remorseful.
You're right, Applejack. I'm sorry. Rainbow Dash, I didn't mean to.
That's her, officers! A voice said behind me, and I turned to see Carrot Harvest, or whatever her name is, coming up behind me, flanked by 3 ponies, to whom were earth ponies in uniform or something, kind of whom was a unicorn wearing a white lab coat.
Oh, me?
I said incredulously. They couldn't be after me, could they? She wrecked my stall. She wrecked my stall. Let me do that again. She wrecked my stall, Golden Top said. She's a danger to the community.
I'm not a danger. I'm an alien,
I said, which in retrospect was probably an unwise thing to say, and is probably why things unfolded as they did. The 2 police officers, I didn't know Ponyville had police, but honestly, what else could they be? Looking at each other and nodded. Why not you just come with us, miss? The one on the left said, in what was probably meant to be a soothing voice, except it sounded like he gargled. Okay, I have to do that again. Why not just come with us, miss? The what one said to the left. It was probably meant to be a soothing voice, except it sounded like he was gargling with pointy rocks. Let's just stay calm and we can work this out in a rational manner, said the one on the right.
I am calm,
I said, though I was lying. I was starting to feel pretty nervous, actually. Officers? I think my friend Pinkie Pie here is just a mite stressed out. Why don't you just let me take her home and please stay back, ma'am? Righty told Applejack, while Lefty moved over to the left side. Oh boy, this wasn't going to be good. They were surrounding me.
Look, officers, I'll fix the damage, I promise,
I said. Then I looked at the ruined market stalls. Probably not. They were just a little bit exploded.
Or maybe I'll buy the new ones. How does that sound?
That sounds good, Lefty said soothingly. How about we just go downtown and work this all out?
I guess. Wait, Ponyville is a downtown?
Get her, Righty said, and they both lunged for me. I jumped straight up in the air, and the 2 officers did a coconut bonk off each other's skulls. I landed amidst the jumbled limbs and immediately took off. Unfortunately, that took me straight towards Carrot Butt, who collapsed to the ground shrieking, "She's gonna eat me!"
That's stupid!
I yelled as I ran away.
Stop being stupid!
I did make it far, though, because a glowing magical field lifted me off the ground. It was coming from the unicorn in the lab coat. My legs pedaled uselessly in the air as I tried to get away from him.
Applejack! Rainbow Dash, listen to me, please!
I said as the doctor approached me. The 2 police ponies were groggily getting up, massing their heads as they did so. Oh, things weren't looking good for human Pinkie Pie. But at least I had AJ and RD's attention.
I'm so sorry I scared you, I really am,
I said desperately, as the approaching doctor used the telekinesis to pull something out of his coat. I couldn't quite make out what it is.
But you have to believe me. Tell Twilight Sparkle.
The cop ponies were closing in. Looking grim, the doctor was fiddling with whatever it was he pulled out of the lab coat. Applejack and Rainbow Dash looked at me with expressions that said that they couldn't figure. Applejack and Rainbow Dash looked at me with the expressions that said they couldn't quite believe what they were seeing.
Tell her Pinkie Pie promised that I'm really an alien trapped in Pinkie Pie's body.
I yelled.
Cross my heart, hold the fly, stick a cupcake in my butt. Ow!
No, I didn't forget how the thing went. That deranged Dr. Pony had stuck a needle in my rump. I immediately started to feel woozy, as I knew that I was just jabbed in with a sedative. That was just not fair, because I had lost consciousness and shouted my frustration and fury to the sky, decrying the injustice to the very heavens themselves.
I only wanted to get some light bulbs!
As epic last words go, that could have probably used some work. My vision started to dim, and the last thing I remember seeing before blacking out was both Rainbow and AJ looking at me with a shocked expression on their faces. I don't know how much later it was that I woke up here, but when I did wake up, it was in a padded room with my forelegs stuck into a straitjacket. They thought I was a crazy pony? Anyway, I've been here 2 nights now, and I haven't seen any pony but the nurses, who bring me pills and help me use the bathroom when I need it, and the orderlies, who bring me lunch and then watch me eat it. Then count the utensils before they go. I guess the doctor is going to interview me later on today. But for now, I've got nothing to do but stare at these padded walls. Which is why I've tried to send messages out to you. Basically, I've got nothing better to do. Anyway, here comes the orderly with my food, so I'll pick my story up after lunch, which is,
pureed carrots. Delish.
That was sarcasm. Please help me!